Saturday, UFC 235 in Las Vegas. Really excited about Ben Askren. Just got traded into the UFC, which is unusual. Incredible ground game. Undefeated before he arrived at UFC. Obviously his UFC debut. And really thrilled, really excited from Vegas that he's joining me right now on the show. All right, Ben, appreciate you. And by the way, I said all those nice things about you on the intro. I forgot to mention the most important. Like me, you went to the greatest university on the face of the earth, the University of Missouri. Thanks for being here, man. And my Z buddy.
What year were you there?
I'm old, all right. So I graduated in 2000.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, man, that place has changed since well, obviously since you graduated, but since I graduated too. You know, try to make it once a year or so down there, and it's different world.
Oh, now I was already rooting for you because you're on the show. Now I'm absolutely rooting for you. And I want to ask you, it's really cool. Obviously, it's your debut. The trade is interesting. And you and Woodley are incredibly close. And if I'm right on this, each of your first professional fights were on the same card. You're on the same card Saturday. How cool has that been for you that all these things are converging together?
Yeah, it is a weird convergence. Yeah, we both made our debut. I want to say, I might get there right. I think it was like February 10, 2009. It was actually in Columbia, Missouri, Holiday Inn Express Ballroom. Obviously, we were both victorious in fairly short order. And now, all these years later, you know, roughly 10 years later, we are fighting again together, obviously on a much, much, much grander stage.
One of my closest friends worked at that Holiday Inn Express, so I love it. I want to, before we get to the fight, this is amazing to me. You said that you wanted to fight Darren Till because he's, quote, annoying. How satisfying was it that your buddy, Woodley, wiped the floor with him?
Oh, that was fantastic. I mean, I helped Tyron prepare for that fight. I couldn't go to that fight because my brother actually got married on the same day, so I actually skipped out of the wedding reception to it was kind of he did a destination when I skipped out of the wedding reception to go get Wi-Fi and watch Tyron's fight. So it was awesome. You know, he really put on a great performance from the knockdown to the ground and pound to the finish. It was just, you know, really a thorough beating all the way through.
All right, so Ben, obviously it's your UFC debut. It's a few days away. In every career, there are these milestones, these steps. For you, how big is this moment? What does it feel like as you get ready for that debut?
I'm excited, but you know, I feel like in fighting, every fighter is only as good as his last fight, and so you know, if you do great in your last fight, they think, oh, you're amazing. If you get your butt kicked, they think, oh, that guy sucks. And then listen, you can turn it around the next fight. If your next fight's great, they'll think you're great again. And so, you know, the thing in fighting is that every single one's important.
So the reason that this is happening in part is the UFC traded you and Demetrius Johnson. You were traded to the UFC. Did you even know that trades were possible, and how'd you get the news?
No one knew that trades were possible, right? They didn't exist. They haven't existed since then. I'm the one and only. One championship actually called me and said, "Hey, what if you got traded?" I said, sure, I don't care. It's like, you know, if that's really a thing. And well, sure enough, it became a thing. I got traded. I'm part of history. And I got traded for a pretty darn good fighter. So all in all, I thought it was awesome.
Did anybody at Dana or anyone at the UFC afterwards, like a draft pick, call you and say, hey, man, this is why we did this?
Yeah, I had talks with Hunter Campbell, who's general counsel at the UFC. He's pretty high up.
And what was the message?
It was good. They're excited to have me. They're you know, obviously they gave me a really big fight right away, right off the bat. I got Robbie Lawler, who's a former champion, really popular guy. And I'm on a gigantic card. I mean, this is, man, huge card, right? Who knows, might end up being the biggest card of the year.
All right, so for folks, you're 18-0. You're a 34-year-old. Your nickname is funky. For UFC fans who are on Saturday just going to begin the process of really getting to know you, tell us about yourself and tell us about the source of your nickname.
Well, the funky nickname comes from my wrestling style, which I developed at University of Missouri, great university, obviously. And I've been doing this fight. I did the Olympics in 2008, and I've been doing this fighting thing pretty much since then. I semi-retired in November of 2017 with an 18-0 record. The only caveat being I would come back if I got to fight the best guys in the world, and that's what I'm getting to do.
And you've said to folks who have folks in the media, you've talked about how Lawler's not the ideal matchup for your style, but it gives you this an opportunity to prove what you're about. What do you need to do as you prepare for this fight? What do you need to do to go out there and keep that undefeated streak and be 1-0 in the UFC?
I gotta impose my will. I mean, that's kind of what I always do, right? I get in there, I close the distance, I wrestle, I make it tough for him, I beat him up on the ground, and look for a submission where it's available.
What's your pregame, pre-fight routine from the moment you wake up on Saturday? What is Ben Askren doing every step of the way?
Oh, relax, chill out. I'm probably gonna go try to throw some disc golf or something. Enjoy my day, and then fight somebody in a cage. It's simple, right?
That's not. I used to do a lot of disc golf back in my University of Missouri days.
Where'd you play?
You
Oakland?
literally go play some disc golf in Vegas? Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oakland top or Oakland bottom?
I was so bad though. I don't even know. I beat a bunch of guys. I was the guy. I would drink the beer. They would actually put up the numbers. That's how my disc golf career went.
There you go. There you go. Nice.
So it's really interesting. I mean, you and every fighter comes from a different perspective. You were a remarkable wrestler at Mizzou. I think they're only 4-time All-American, if memory serves. For you, as you transition from that experience, to the UFC, what were the things that were the hardest part of adding to your arsenal?
I mean, for me, obviously the grappling portion, the jiu-jitsu came pretty naturally. It was easy for me to figure out because it was so similar to wrestling, and the striking was a lot more difficult to figure out. So that took me some time, and but I've been fighting for 10 years now, so I feel like maybe I don't have it all figured out because you never really do, but I've got it figured out pretty well.
You've talked about the fact that the pressure doesn't faze you. Is that because you just don't feel the pressure in these fights, or is it a motivator and a catalyst for what you want to do when you get in there and do your thing?
No, I mean, I don't really think about it too much, right? So kind of twofold. I don't think about, anytime you think about things that are outside of actually what you have to do, right? What I have to do, I have to go get my hands on them. I got to take them down. I got to beat them up. Anytime you think about all the outside factors, that leads to poor performance. Secondly, I've learned to enjoy these moments. There's not a lot of people who get to experience 20,000 rabid fans yelling at you while you're fighting in a cage. I mean, that's something that should be thoroughly enjoyed. And, that's whether it's the NCAA finals and that's happening, whether that's the Olympics, no matter what it is. Learning to enjoy those moments because not a lot of people get to experience them. This has been earned through a lot of hard work, and I get to experience these things that other people don't.
Dude, it's really cool. I'll be watching UFC 235. I will absolutely be rooting for you. My kids know the MIZZOU chant, so the whole Reiter family is rooting for you, Ben Askren. Very cool of you, man. Thanks for good luck on Saturday, and thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.